Hey, good morning. I'm your host, BKP, voice of rural America, North Georgia's only live online morning show. I feel like I'm at the kiddie table for Thanksgiving. I mean, look at what I've been reduced to, folks. Look at this. Well, let me just explain. Usually you see, I got the big table, and really what you don't get to see out there is the big table that reaches from wall to wall here, that I have all kinds of stuff. I mean, I have snacks, I have jackets, I mean, you name it, all over the table. And really, I have just reduced it down to user-friendly space, just needed space. That's all I need, is right here, just needed space. I mean, because the work is here, why do I need here if we're here? Oh, wow, okay. Anyhow, the reason for that, those of you that view on a daily basis, we appreciate you very much. Let's get started with, and we want to welcome Rose, our social media director. Let's get started. Sam, show them how they can get in touch with us. Sam put it up there. I just can't see it. I got to get used to where my glasses are. Okay, there it is. You can find us on Twitter at Fetcher News. You can find us on Twitter also at FYNTV. You can follow us there. Something always gives me the creeps about you following me around, but that's what we're supposed to say. You can send us an email, chief@fetchernews.com. You can text the show, 706-889-9700. Live show, you can text in 706-889-9700, or you can call that number. That's our 24/7 news line. I answer the phone. Hey, BKP. There you go. That's the number. Text during the show. You can also find us on Facebook. We are monitoring all the Facebook comments last night. All the Facebook comments, we're monitoring those, Fetcher News, and also on our YouTube channel. Try to let you know that all of the videos we do, city council meetings, whatever they are, the shows, they're all archived at FYNTV. Find us real easy at FYNTV. Fetcher News YouTube channel. That's our channel there. So you can find us. And like I said, now we have somebody that monitors throughout the morning. Rose may put a question out, so let's get the question going. Let's just ask, did you attend what turned into a town hall meeting? Did you attend what turned into a Blue Ridge City Council town hall meeting last night? Over 100 people there, expecting to see the full council discuss all of the things on the monthly agenda, just to find 4 of them missing. Did you attend that last night, and what do you think? Now, I'm going to tell you the truth about the 3-hour parking. That will be obviously, some people will argue, but the truth is the truth. That's just all there is to it. It's the truth. So we're going to talk about that, the 3-hour parking. There's been some posts on Facebook. There's been some comments. There's been some publications where council members said, hey, we did not have 3-hour parking on the agenda last night as a second reader. That is true, but we're going to tell you the truth about what's going on in that realm. We also have a collusion story. City of Blue Ridge, would you guess that there may be a possible collusion story? Remember the old days? Seems like it's just yesterday where I was doing a Fanning Cartel hashtag. Don't forget, Rose, you were not here during Fanning Cartel time. So hashtag Fanning Cartel. It's capital F, capital C. We like to do it like that. Draws attention to the 2 words, Fanning Cartel. I think we're going to have to bring back Fanning Cartel because we may have a collusion. Now, you have heard in the media every day, you're hearing Russian collusion, right? Russian collusion. Well, wait a minute. One of these 4 could be Russian. I don't know. I don't know if maybe Councilwoman Arp. I don't know. Somebody could be a Russian. or have some Russian background. So we could have Russian collusion in Blue Ridge, but this I do know we have collusion. I am going through my notes. I'll just take notes on anything, right? Going through my notes this morning. Remember concerned citizens of Blue Ridge, and when Patrick Crain went to the podium, and you out there spent $43,000 on an investigation. We'll talk about the collusion. So that's coming up. Tonight I'm going to Gainesville. I never know till I get somewhere, but I'm pretty sure over in Gainesville I'll have adequate. If you will, and let me make this announcement because it's very important. Pay attention to this. Tell your friends. Listen up, okay? Tell your friends. Excuse me. I'm going over to Gainesville this afternoon at 5:30. 9th Congressional District, Congressman Doug Collins will be holding a town hall meeting. All right, town hall meeting. The congressman has received some criticism for not holding multiple town halls. To my memory, this will be the first one of this year. I could be wrong, but I'm not. I'm just saying first one this year. But he is holding a town hall meeting at 5:30 today in Gainesville. You can find all the information about the town hall. There are, I don't want to call them rules, but there's some safety things in place. Now, let's not. Security has no choice. Remember, there was this thing. You remember, what was his name? Congressman Steve Scalise, and he's out practicing for a charity baseball game, and guy walked up and said, "Hey, are those Republicans or Democrats?" The guy said, "Those are Republicans, just who I'm looking for." And this wacko, this Bernie Sanders supporter, just saying he was, okay. That's what they would say with Donald Trump. If it was a white guy in Alabama, that did something, it would immediately be highlighted on every reel a Donald Trump supporter, all right? But anyhow, he took a shot at Steve Scalise, and thankfully Steve Scalise is recovering well. Everything's going, the surgeries, he's doing okay. But since that shooting, the security at these town halls is a little different. So anyhow, to get that information, go to fetchernews.com. You'll find that Collins holds town hall. You can get all the information there of the security getting in. But it is open to the public. We're not trying to give anybody any fear. But the point I'm making is today at 5:30, if you will join and subscribe to our YouTube channel, FYN TV, Fetcher News channel, you will get a notification anytime we're live. And I'm going to broadcast that town hall today. That will be a live event on FYN TV. You'll be able, if you can't make it over to Gainesville, you'll be able to see the Congressman's town hall live. Now, many of us last night, by a show of hands, how many of you were up like close to midnight listening to Glenn Campbell songs? Was it just me? Put Glenn Campbell up there. The Rhinestone Cowboy, right? The Rhinestone Cowboy, Glenn Campbell, is at 81. At my age, and I won't tell you what it is, I'm enjoying so many things from here on out, but I have had the opportunity to grow up at a time where Glenn Campbell and artists like himself, I was able to enjoy Rhinestone Cowboy, Wichita Lineman, one of my favorites, Wichita Lineman. What is the other one? There's a couple here. What was the other one? Wichita Lineman, Rhinestone Cowboy, Gentle on My Mind. Gentle on My Mind was absolutely a great hit from Glenn Campbell.
It's okay.
How many of you, again, were up last night listening to all your favorite Wichita Linemen? Let me see, Glenn Campbell. And here's one that By Time I Get to Phoenix, whoa. By Time I Get to Phoenix, that's a great one. I like Gentle on My Mind. Galveston. I don't want to sing it. Galveston, oh Galveston. I shouldn't do that, right? Never let that happen again. But here's something I want you to know really briefly on Glenn Campbell. The guy had suffered from Alzheimer's since I think 2011, and actually it's documented. The family documented this for the use to show people this terrible disease and what it does. The Wrecking Crew. How many of you ever go? I want to make a suggestion with the Glenn Campbell right now. Go to Netflix and find The Wrecking Crew. Okay, The Wrecking Crew is back in the day where they're a studio band, and they're really not. They really don't happen anymore. But it's a studio band called The Wrecking Crew, and they were members. And Glenn Campbell was a member of The Wrecking Crew. Just take time back in the 60s. Glenn Campbell played on a lot of Bob Dylan backgrounds, Frank Sinatra's The Mamas and the Papas, Jan and Dean, Sonny and Cher, the Monkees. These guys and ladies in The Wrecking Crew did most of the background tracks for a lot of these bands, and Glenn Campbell was in The Wrecking Crew. Just something I want to bring up. So sorry to hear about the passing of Glenn Campbell. And so I was up last night listening to Glenn Campbell hits. I'll admit it. All right, North Korea. Before we here's what we're going to do. I want to talk a little bit about North Korea and the president's comments of fire and fury. The president's comments of fire and fury. And what I'll do is I'll take a break about 8:20. So out there you can schedule, and then we'll come back at 8:25 and we'll do about 35 minutes of Blue Ridge, okay? So that way you can tell everybody so they know. FYNTV.com. We'll put it out there right now. We're putting it out everywhere at 8:35. There's two things I want to talk about. I want to get to the truth on the parking. I want to get to what happened last night. I want to get to the empty chairs. I want to get to Angie Arp, Councilwoman Angie Arp's property, which I cannot believe is not an outrage to everybody that's discussing the parking issue. Okay, I want to get to the collusion. Now, we might not have enough time because I have a guest, Alicia Edwards. Every other Wednesday, we just talk a little bit about real estate in North Georgia. And if you're online anywhere, you see all the time the beautiful listings in North Georgia and how busy in the explosion in real estate in our area. So Alicia Edwards comes in and we talk about real estate for about 10 minutes every other Wednesday. And then after that, we will possibly get back into Blue Ridge. So you might want to stay with this. Sometimes I question myself. We do have a national audience, and I appreciate each and every one of you, and I don't want you to tune out. But what I have found is there's a lot of people, and a guy stood up last night and made mention of this at what turned into a town hall. He said, we'll be on Fetcher News, and it's everywhere. So from Florida to all over, there's a lot of people that know about the Blue Ridge Scenic Railroad, which we're told last night is number 6 in the United States of, I forget what it was measured by, but top scenic rail lines in the United States, like number 6, the Blue Ridge Scenic Railroad. The argument of how many that brings, 80,000 a year it brings. So we're going to talk about that because it's important in North Georgia. Okay, President Trump. Let's do this for a minute before we take our break. President Trump, do you have that video? You have that video I sent out? Okay, Sam, let's play. This is the comments yesterday that has everybody up in arms. So let's play this video first.
North Korea best not make any more threats to the United States. They will be met with fire and fury like the world has never seen. He has been very threatening, beyond a normal statement. And as I said, they will be met with fire, fury, and frankly, power, the likes of which this world has never seen before. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, fire and fury. He will be met with fire and fury he will be met with fire and fury like the likes of which this world has never seen. So, oh, he did. Okay. So actually, and thank you, we have right from the control room here at FYN Studios, fresh in from the control room. I've always wanted to say it. Straight in from the control room of FYN Studios. The president has tweeted out, my first, this is 11 minutes ago, came from the president of the United States. Hopefully, we'll never have to use this power, but there will never, oh, wait a minute, there's two. My first order as president was to renovate and modernize our nuclear arsenal, okay? We don't have time on this show, but if you go into great detail of how old and antiquated so many of the things where our nuclear arsenal are concerned, you should take time to look at that. So my first order, President Trump says, was to renovate and modernize our nuclear arsenal. It is now far stronger and more powerful than ever before. Okay, we're ready, folks. We're ready. Remember that mother of all bombs? Remember that morning? Hopefully, we will never have to use this power. All right, we'll never have to use this power, but there will never be a time. There will never be a time that we are not the most powerful nation in the world. Okay, I, for one, fire and fury, most powerful nation in the world. We're not playing games anymore. We're not being pushed around. Okay, this has the left spinning. I mean, they actually, I think they called in counselors at MSNBC this morning. This has safe spaces at all the networks, booming this morning. I mean, you talk about safe spaces at the college campuses. I, for one, believe that they have these safe spaces in these networks. So this morning, I'm not really watching, but I'm listening to Morning Joe, and they've called in all the counselors, CNN, NBC, This Morning, George Stephan, all of them. They have the counselors in there discussing, oh my God, what is this rhetoric? Who's pushing back on this? Because they always find who else. John McCain is a leading authority. Now, Rose, pay attention. I would like for you to find this. Sam will know where to go. I did a segment called the 24-year failed policy in North Korea. So somewhere in there, we wrote an article on Fetcher News. There was an article we wrote. It talked about all the former Secretary of States, and it's called the failed policy, the 24-year failed policy. I want to get that back out on Facebook. I want to get it back out on everywhere up to the top. And I want you to take a minute when you get a chance to listen to our segment that I think Sam and I did this. This might be 3 months ago. I mean, really, we did this 3 months ago. We did this segment, the failed policy 24 years. So we are here today, okay? This is where we're at today on North Korea. But we have to understand, many of the networks, I was listening, and they will use lines like, for months this has been building up. This is built up over the past several months. For several months since President Trump's in office, the rhetoric has ratcheted up to this level. Those are the newscasts. They will not discuss, or they do it in the end of the newscast where, if you turn on the first 18 minutes and you got that and you're going off to work or you're just not listening anymore, they make sure they bury it. Same thing in the papers, same thing in all the media. They're burying Madeleine Albright's landing. And I have that. We did the video, 3 months ago. I want you to watch that today if you get a chance. The 24-year failed North Korean policy. Bill Clinton, folks, this morning, the reason that North Korea is able to strap a nuclear warhead on an ICBM, intercontinental ballistic missile, every time you hear that, ICBM, Every time you read a news account that says Alaska is in fear, every time you read a news account that says Hawaii only has a 8 to 12 minute warning, every time you read a news account that says the demilitarized zone, which we don't have time to go into that demilitarized zone, see, the North has never accepted that. The South has, South Korea. Every time you read the demilitarized zone, yes, North Korea has thousands of missiles pointed at South Korea, right? Just 30 some miles away. So let me put this in perspective. I don't know where you're at today, but take your brain 33 miles away. I'm going to say 33. I've heard 30, 23. Seoul, South Korea. Okay, so take your brain. We're in LJ. Let's go to Blairsville. Okay, we're in LJ. Let's go to Canton. All right, seriously, you're in Blue Ridge this morning. Go over to Andrews, North Carolina, whatever. All right, put it in that perspective that there are thousands of missiles pointed at millions of people, millions of people, or 20 million people, isn't it? Seoul, South Korea, whatever. They can attack millions just like that. It's Seoul, South Korea. Okay, well, there goes your Kia, right? There goes your Kia Sportage or whatever that was. There goes your hamster, right? There goes your Kia hamster. Boy, he's in trouble. He could get lit up really fast. So every time you think of that, and every time you listen to the media tell you fire and fury and this rhetoric by Donald Trump, and the stock market is opening up down today because of Donald Trump's rhetoric, and Donald Trump saying we're not going to put up with this anymore, and Donald Trump saying you have threatened us for the last time. I have told you he has to do something, right? Has to do something. Donald Trump has to take care of the North Korean situation. Now, I, for one, personally think that I don't want to say Donald Trump and the word crazy in the same sentence because I don't want anybody to be able to use it. But MSNBC, Joe and Mika and all the liberal gang are talking this morning that this proved he's incompetent. He was not competent to be president. He does not have the makeup. He does not have the ability. He just flares out with these comments. But all that being said, trying to get it into perspective, they're looking at this as his. He's not able to make the decisions. They're concerned because he's always wanted to know about the nuclear weapons and why we don't use them. And this morning they're checking off all the steps in place for Donald Trump to say launch a nuke. Is there a safety net? Now watch and see if we don't do something or find some lefty to put a bill in or says, hey, we have to have 12 checks and a 3-panel of judges, Simon, Randy, and Paula Abdul. We have to have a panel of judges to see if Donald Trump can actually be the commander-in-chief and launch an attack against our enemy. All that, let me wrap that up because I told you I was going to get into the Blue Ridge segment at 8:25. So I want to wrap that up. But what I want to say is 24 years, everything you hear today, President Trump has to handle North Korea. Bill Clinton caused this. I don't care who's at fault this morning. I understand that. It has to be solved. Bill Clinton caused it. Madeleine Albright caused it. They had 8 years. They made a nuclear deal. Bill Clinton, in my video that I'm putting up, I play the video of Bill Clinton saying this is like one of the greatest deals that's ever been made for the safety and security of you, the American people. We gave them money. We lifted sanctions. We helped them develop. We this morning, Bill Clinton's administration, Bill and Hillary, basically helped them put their nuclear program in place that they could strap a warhead on today. So they had 8 years. George W. Bush, no hero. He had 8 years to deal with North Korea. Barack Obama had 8 years. 3 times 8 is 24 years of failed, I'm telling you, failed North Korean policy, leaving the president no choice. It is. Now, I'll end by this. I said that 3 times. Him being mentally competent to be in office is what they're discussing. I'm serious. We hear that on a daily basis for those of us that pay attention. Him being mentally competent to his sanity, his stability to be in office. But my point is, China thinks Donald Trump is just crazy enough to do it. And I didn't mean to put it in those terms, but just crazy enough to do it. And China has not had to deal with North Korea in the way that they do now in the last 24 years. And Donald Trump is not waiting for the left media, for speechwriters, for everybody to vet his words. He's letting you know right now, America first, the American people first. And when you're sitting there saying you're going to take out Guam, you're going to hit Hawaii, you're going to hit Alaska, you're ready to take out all of our allies and our troops in South Korea, millions of them, I'm going to let you know, you even think about it, fire and fury will fall from the sky. You will wish it never happened. Now, I'm going to say it like this. I don't usually say this, but my prayers this morning are for the North Korean people. Now, let's get serious, the North Korean people. Because outside of Pyongyang or whatever it is, the capital, those people are starving, folks. They're starving. They're being oppressed. The treatment, and China's concerned because as soon as we clean house, millions of their refugees are going to head for their borders, and they don't know that they want to take care of them. But those poor people outside of that, they don't want to live like that. That's just all they know. I'm your host, BKP. It's 8:27. We'll take a break. We're going to come back and do a 30-minute Blue Ridge segment, the truth about the 3-hour parking. Okay? Take us a break, Sam.
Ace is your helpful place for paint and home goods, tools, outdoor living, and lawn equipment. But did you know Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge is a little bit more? We have hunting rifles and accessories for your next hunting trip. We have Amish furniture imported directly from Ohio. And we have Ace Custom Woodworks for all your custom wood project needs, from cabinets to artwork. Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge. We have your new house in stock.
Circuit World, brand name merchandise at unbelievably low prices. Furniture, appliances, and electronics. Circuit World is locally owned and operated, serving the tri-state area. Circuit World has highly trained professionals to help. Visit your hometown Circuit World today. 3 locations in Georgia: Ellijay, Blue Ridge, and Blairsville, Franklin, and Murphy, North Carolina. No credit checks, so let Circuit World deliver to you today.
El Rey and Ellijay.
El Rey Mexican Restaurant.
Family owned and operated, and a local favorite for families, parties, and meetings.
Great prices.
Friendly service and delicious Mexican cuisine.
Patio dining available.
Come sing in Carlos's Cantina every Friday 9 to 1.
Eat in or take away.
Same location for 14 years. Open 7 days at the corner of Maddox Drive and 515. North Georgia's favorite Mexican cuisine. El Rey and Ellijay.
What you gonna do with all that junk?
Okay, I'm your host, BKP. Good morning from the office, North Georgia's only live online morning show. Let's stay focused on the Blue Ridge City Council last night. Last night was the regularly scheduled meeting. Let's stay focused on this. Last night was the August 8th. That is the meeting that is at the same time, location, every month. Same time, same location, every month, that the citizens are aware of. And there was a lot of talk around town that there would be a second reading of the 3-hour parking ordinance. Now, let's get to the truth here for a minute, okay? The truth of that is last night's agenda did not have a second reading of the parking ordinance. Now, some city council members released yesterday saying fake news is going around that there's going to be a second reading of the city council at the city council of the parking ordinance for 3 hours, meaning the entire city would have a 3-hour parking limit. Now, this does not meet the smell test, okay? And I think what we have to do is we have to start here, and I know 30 minutes is not going to get it. I'm going to do a 10-minute segment at 9, and then I'm going to come back, and I think I'm going to keep working on this as long as we're productive. But this does not meet the smell test. Now, here's something, a vision I want to give you right now. I want to put this in with you. I want you to understand this. I want you to grasp this as nicely as I can put it. I have 3 empty chairs. Could you put that up? Okay. Now, this is 3 empty chairs at Blue Ridge City Council. Okay? And this is symbolism right here. These 3 chairs last night, they were empty. Okay? Members did not show up. Actually, 4 members, but there's a reason we have this picture of 3 chairs. Let's start there because I want to build on this, okay? There is a effort, and I know Blue Ridge is not the only city in the United States that this happens, but there is an effort to control a direction of the city, an effort to control it. It has financial gain involved. Some members are seeing financial gain out of it. I don't want to go into what other members may be seeing out of it, but one in particular has the opportunity of financial gain. Opportunity, okay? God knows every time I do this, their attorneys are standing by, watching, all right? Which, again, let me just say, I don't care. Don't get me confused with someone who cares. 3 empty chairs. And the reason I took the picture last night of the 3 empty chairs is because those are the 3 votes. Those symbolize the 3 votes. Now, something before we get into the 3-hour parking very far into it, let's keep in mind in those 3 chairs, leave it up because I want people to really look at those 3 chairs. One, if you're out there and you're a citizen of Blue Ridge, you're a voter in the city of Blue Ridge, a resident in the city of Blue Ridge. And by the way, isn't it interesting that residents of the city of Blue Ridge only matter, okay, on election year? We're not that concerned year 1, 2, and 3, okay? Year 1, 2, and 3, we're not that concerned. But election year, we love you. If you live there and you have a residence there and you got your family there and you're raising your family and you're paying the taxes in the city and you're paying the garbage bill and the sewer bill and the water bill or whatever you got to do there, we like you on year 4. The first 3 years, but year 4, you people are tops. So those chairs of city council belong to you, the citizens. You've heard me say that all too many times. They belong to you. You have chosen to have a mayor and 5 council members. You have. That's what you decided you wanted, to oversee your city. Now, some are asking for a city manager. That would be a change, maybe a welcome change. I don't know. Okay? would have been nice this weekend, this past weekend, to have a city manager so that all of the back and forth over the water issue between a mayor, council members, or whatever, and who's really in charge would not have happened or would not be a problem. I think city manager could be something, a welcome, and it's actually suggested in the investigation that we'll talk about a little later that costed you, the citizens, $43,000, a city manager. So anyhow, the 3 empty chairs symbolizes the 3 votes. The 3 votes that 3 members have had for 3 years that have controlled the issues of the city. Now they found a piece of property to solve parking. Let me tell you something. You've heard me say all too many times, Todd and Lisa Pack, great people. Great people. They have a piece of property. Let me tell you what they had. They had a piece of property 3 years ago. They had a piece of property 3 years ago. That's what they had. They had a piece of property when Blue Ridge spent money to do engineering outside of City Hall, looking at the possibility of adding 100 and some parking spaces at City Hall in a parking building. Okay? The Packs had that property then. That property's been sitting there a long time. It's now a great location for 300 parking spaces. Now keep in mind, if Pack's property is a great location for 300 parking spaces, it was a great location last year for 300 parking spaces when we needed it. It was a great location 2 years ago when we needed it. It was a great location a year ago. It was a great location for 300 parking spaces about the time Councilwoman Angie Arp purchased the old cement factory there that borders that property. Very interesting. So let's go back to the 3 chairs. 3 chairs, 3 votes, control the city and have controlled the direction. They belong to you, the citizens. You vote them in, okay? You vote for them not to do their will, but to be there on your behalf for the best interest of the citizens, not their interest, yours. They're there to represent you. So let's go ahead and take that down. I'll leave it up. I'm sorry, leave it up. Now the 3-hour parking. Okay, let's go to, and I want to stay focused. I don't want to lose my temper, get all out there. I want to stay focused because the truth is, on July 11th, I have the agenda in front of me, okay, and I have the agenda in front of me, and parking ordinance amendment, first reading, okay, parking ordinance amendment, first reading, that was on July 11th, okay, and as you go down through here, you go on down through here, you have a lot of Carter and Sloop invoices, and then you have the discussion items, and then you have Caesar talking about the parking update, Gene Holcomb talking about parking, so on and so forth, Bill Ryan, drainage, water, sewer on West Main. So this goes back July 11th. This is a 6 o'clock meeting at 480 West 1st Street in City Hall where the citizens are aware there's a meeting. Now, July 21st, they have to have a special called meeting. Now, I want to just say, because they talk about the special called meeting. So now July 11th they have a meeting. July 21st they had a special called council meeting at 9 a.m. in the morning. All right. Now this one, if memory serves me right, Mayor Whitener did not attend and Rhonda Thomas did not attend this one, which they did have a quorum because Herold Herndon, Rodney Kendall, Bruce Pack, and Angie Arp attended so they can have the meeting. Last night when Rhonda Thomas was asked, why didn't you guys attend this one? She said, you know, they have these special called meetings at 9 a.m. in the morning and they don't consider if anybody has an appointment, a doctor appointment, has to be somewhere. They have these special called meetings. Now, They're not at the July 21st. I want to stay clear on this, okay? So here is what is important at the special called meeting, okay? EPD sewer plant regulations, all right? Maybe that could have been at a regular meeting. Bobby Davis, that was at the special called meeting. Flooding, they're talking about a flooding, okay, that had taken place. Building permits, downtown water line replacement, okay, downtown water line replacement and approval, adjourned. But at this time, they did spend an enormous amount of time talking about parking. We have the video. It's on there. It was not on this agenda, but they did spend a large amount of time talking about parking, okay? So if you got this agenda here, you do not get the impression that it's going to be a parking discussion, but go back to my July 21st special called meeting and see the parking. Now let's fast forward to August 8th, 1st. This is August 1st. Now here is the meeting that has everybody up in arms. Special called council meeting August 1st at 11 a.m. at 480 West Street. Now these are special called meetings, meaning these items cannot wait till the monthly meeting. They can't wait. We need to discuss these now, all right? So you remember the 3 chairs there have 3 votes. They've had those 3 votes for 3 years. Okay, so let's go back just briefly to the July 21st. Flooding is on the agenda. July 21st of 2017. I keep telling myself I'm not going to get upset. I'm going to stay with the fact that we're going to tell the truth. We're going to tell the damn truth. There's a difference. People out there claim to tell the truth. We're going to tell the damn truth today. That's what we're going to do because we have it right here. And we have the facts. We have the 3 chairs. We have the 3 council members. Go and look at their votes. Pull them up. Flooding. Guess what? 3 years ago, when those 3 chairs with 3 votes went into office and said, hey, I've got the picture. It's on their website when they took their oath of office. Okay? Ask these council members how many of them have attended training. How many? Ask them. See how many of these council members that want you to re-elect them. I want to know. Here's one of the criteria, and they may know it. They may have been to it. I want to know from every member of council, every member, not excluded one, and mayor, how many of them have gone to training, have been to any of the state training provided for council members and the mayor. I want to know that because actually that was one of the recommendations in the report, Gerard and Davis report, $43,000. So let me get back to this. 3 years ago, flooding. Downtown waterline replacement project. Downtown waterline replacement project phase 2. 3 years ago. Why is this on the agenda now? Why did they not do this 3 years ago when they had the opportunity? Why did they not address the drainage, the floods 3 years ago? Why not? Why this year? Because guess what? Residents matter in year 4. In year 4, all of a sudden, 1, 2, and 3, no. Year 4, yeah, you matter. All right, so let's go to back to August 1st, special called meeting. Okay, this is the August 1st. Again, this cannot wait. Parking ordinance amendment first reading. Parking ordinance amendment first reading. Now, I for one am going to tell you it's not, there should never be. There should never be. Over 100 and some people in that room this morning. The Secretary of State's office should be saying, whoa, wait a minute. The Department of Ethics, the Secretary of State, should be saying, hey, hey, we are flooded with the phones. Let me say something I shouldn't, because God knows if I am on very long, there's the opportunity for me to say something I shouldn't. I think right now, Secretary of State Brian Kemp, if that's the office that you may voice your complaints to, I'm not for sure, we'll check into that. I think he would be very responsive right now. Just saying. So, an ordinance, a city ordinance, first reading. Now, what they're going to tell you is this is not true. This is fake news. They went into this room. I have the video. You watch it. And they got to number 4, parking ordinance amendment. Okay? And here's where I think there is, what would I say, my words, extortion. If you look all the way down through here, there seems to be some extortion. You're going to play ball my way. You're going to do it my way. I'm going to make the decision, and the minute you don't like it, I will call another meeting, and just like that, reading 2 will happen, and just like that, the 3-hour parking. Now, they're going to come to you and say, no, we said that we will not put the 3-hour parking in until we have the other parking in place. Once you have the first reader, that's done. Now, if the first reading of this parking ordinance, if the first reading would have taken place last night, why didn't you have the nerve to show up? If it would have taken place last night, you would have had a room full. That's why they did not do it. That's why they slipped this into a special called meeting on August 1st, the first reading of the parking ordinance, because they knew as soon as the word got out that the first reading was done, that there would be outrage. Total outrage, and they want you to know, particularly Councilwoman Angie Arp wants you to know she holds that card, because she is the one that keeps writing up her reasons for existing and her reasons for existing to run Blue Ridge the way she sees fit, the way you should like it, and you're going to do it her way. It's pretty clear. You may look here and say, well, wait a minute. I don't think you should really focus on Councilwoman Angie Arp. Watch the videos, folks. If you're confused that she's going to run it her way, it's going to be her way, and it's going to happen the way she decides, or you can go and she doesn't care the cost. Oh, you're not watching the videos. So August 1st, first reading is done. Okay, the PAC property and lease. Now, and storm drains. And storm drains. And city parks. You want to talk about city parks? You want to talk about the $60,000 that Blue Ridge wrote a check back to the foundation? I forget the name. I'll get it. You want to talk about the $60,000 that they wrote a check back? You want to talk about all the money they lost in grants in the last 3 years? All the opportunities they have. There was a guy stood up last night. What the hell? We can't even paint the bathrooms? Really? Storm drains. Storm drains. That was 3 years ago. Storm drains. PAC property and lease. Now here's what I want to get to. Yeah, the first reading of the parking ordinance. This is called the damn truth. This is just the damn truth, okay? The first reading of the parking ordinance. So they had a phone conversation. My understanding of sources say, because it's out there, they had a conversation, whether it be phone. And my understanding is Bo Chance. Here's what confuses me, okay? And this is not a dislike, and I don't want to hear it, all right? Because I'm going to be as polite to the guy as I've been since the day I met him almost 17 years ago when I moved here, okay? Bo Chance stands up, okay? And he does the 2020 group. Guess what the hell we have? We have the video, right? So he does the 2020 group. This group works hard. What is the 2020 group? looking 20 years back in Blue Ridge and looking 20 years forward, putting a plan together, getting a plan for the future. And guess what? I have the video, and Bo Chance goes to the podium and he does a major presentation. He lays it all out. He works for the group. He's the spokesman. He looks up there, and Angie Arp says basically, no. No. Okay? Absolutely not. No. On the 2020 group. Okay? So, he gets shot down with the group. Now, he's in communication and negotiation with some people. Just say it. Working with them now. Angie Arp. Angie Arp shot him down 3 years ago. Not just him, the 2020 group. Now they're working together. So, supposedly, they had a discussion before the August 1st meeting with some people of the Blue Ridge Scenic Railroad, Patriot Rail. And when they had the discussion, I guess they asked Patriot Rail if they wanted to participate in paying for the leased property. If they wanted to participate in paying for the costs or ponying up some money for the cost to get the PAC property ready for parking, and if they wanted to help with the lease, $2,000 a month, whatever, and we've got the list of how much it would cost to get the property up and running to get 300 parking spaces. And basically, this is basically what happens is they have this conversation, and the train says, you know, I don't know what they said. I don't want to say the Patriot Rail. They don't come to the table with money. So the very next day on August 1st, Miss Arp says something to the nature, it's on the video, the railroad didn't pony up. They didn't bring anything to the table. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to pass this first reading of the parking ordinance, and then we hold the last card. We hold the last card. We hold the card that says, you don't play ball my way. I call a special call meeting. I say parking ordinance second reading, and I tell Rodney Kendall and Bruce Pack, and we vote. And guess what? 3 hours. So you have a choice. Play my way or the highway. And that's Angie Arp. This is what is going on, whether you want to, a little maybe, God knows, maybe a little extortion, maybe a little, playing chess there to see who makes the next move, maybe a little blackmail, maybe. I mean, you never know. You got to watch all the videos, put everything together, because this is not the truth. This is the damn truth of what's going on. Now, Angie Arp, the suave, intelligent businesswoman that she is, thinks nobody is looking. And I'm going to get into, let me show you a piece of property. I am so up to here with the PAC property. I love Todd and Lisa, can't say it enough. But guess what? That property, that 300 parking spaces was there. What about Ada Street LLC? Now, I understand, but Ada Street LLC, what about using theirs for parking? What about that? Huh? Maybe there's parking right there in town. I don't know. There's other options. Why do we have to hate? Why can't, it's just like, we are the world. Well, we need to do one of those, we are the world. We are Blue Ridge and, sing Kumbaya and everybody love each other or something, right? What the hell? Anyhow, I want to show, just show me Angie Arp's property. Give me a picture of that. This is Councilwoman Arp's property. This is her property. And we're going to talk about that after our next break. We're going to come back after this. We're going to have a segment. I'm going to have Alicia Edwards with me. We're going to change gears here. We're going to talk a little bit about real estate in North Georgia as soon as we come back. And then about 9:15, don't leave me at 9:15, we're going to finish this. We're going to finish this because I've about had it with what they're doing. And we're calling this segment, I don't know, maybe we should put it on the internet. People might get upset, but this is called The Damn Truth, all right? Because what about the corruption and the collusion? Or possibly. You got to throw possibly. I got to have a question mark over here, over there, because, but this is something I know. I interviewed a guy for 2 hours. I got a couple notes. I interviewed a guy for 2 hours. I got a couple notes. Maybe Councilwoman Arp was in on the $43,000 that was spent for the investigation. Maybe she was. Maybe there's some collusion there. I hope it's not Russian, because God knows one of them could be Russian. I'm your host, BKP. Stay with me. 9:15. We're gonna stay on the damn truth. That's what it's gonna be. Okay? Take us a break, Sam.
The 17% savings are real at Days Chevrolet in Jasper. 17% off MSRP on every 2017 Chevy Silverado LT Crew Cab and Double Cab. Save up to $7,500. Get this loaded Silverado Crew Cab for only $36,500. Or save up to $4,600 on the new 2017 Chevy Equinox with leather. Now just $23,500 at Days Chevrolet in Jasper, where the 17% savings are real. Days Chevrolet. Find new roads.
Hello, my name is Chad Watkins. I'm the manager at Larry's Body Shop. We are a family-owned and operated business and have been serving the North Georgia area since 1978. We are located at 1216 Progress Road in LOJ, Georgia. Our shop specializes in collision repair, and we work with all major insurance companies. Larry's Body Shop is ICAR Gold, the highest role of training recognized by the collision repair industry. It is estimated that only 10% of collision shops meet these standards. Our shop consists of state-of-the-art equipment such as laser measurement system, down-drive spray booth, spot and MIG welding equipment. All of our paints are mixed on-site so that we can guarantee your paint to match every time. I know that having an accident can be a stressful event. We take pride in making sure our customers are satisfied with the repair of their vehicles. Our waiting area is clean and comfortable with free Wi-Fi and refreshing beverages. So if you're in an accident, stop by and see us at Larry's Body Shop.
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds. Come on in to view the area's largest selection of fine jewelry at North Georgia Diamond. All repairs and designs are done on-site by our jewelers. And North Georgia Diamond has the lowest prices on loose diamonds. You can also sell your gold, silver, and coins at North Georgia Diamond between Walmart and Lowe's in East LJ. Locally owned by Bill and Allison Craig, North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
Hi, I'm Rhonda the Mattress Lady, and this is my husband Gary, owners of Mattress Overstocked in LJ next to Walmart. And we want to earn your business. From the time you walk in our door to the time we deliver your new mattress to your door, you will see the difference. Our selection and prices are the best in North Georgia, and customer service is our top priority. So y'all come on in and let us help you find the right mattress at the right price. That's Mattress Overstocked in LJ next to Walmart.
Hey, we're back, and I'm your host, BKP, and I'm glad to be joined this morning with Alicia Edwards. Alicia, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm great, but before we get started, are you enjoying the cooler weather?
I am.
Are you?
Yes.
That is for the last couple days here in the North Georgia mountains. You know, in the North Georgia mountains, it's been some cool mornings and cool evenings.
Gets us ready for football. And apples.
Football and apples, right? High school football. No, you're real estate, Century 21, and you have on the screen here Alicia Edwards. Mm-hmm. And you in the real estate business. Let me ask you something. I bet you if somebody comes up here, and I know we're going to talk about for sale by owner, but if somebody visits our beautiful area at this time of the year, it's like the time they start falling, and they just fall in love with it, don't they?
Yes. And it's hard not to.
Because the mornings, school, back to school?
Back to school, yes. We're in full swing. Marching band.
Marching. You have your daughter's in marching band, right?
No, my son.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
Daughter's in volleyball.
Yes, my daughter's
in volleyball. I got one right.
Yeah, you got one right.
I got one right. So your daughter's in volleyball and your son's in marching band.
Yep, he's on the drum line.
Back to school, practice every day, yes. Out showing property.
Yes.
Nonstop.
Yes.
And our topic today, Alicia, is if I'm thinking about selling my home, and if I'm thinking about going with the route of for sale by owner, mm-hmm. Okay, and I'm thinking about going the route of for sale by owner, what are some of the top reasons that you shouldn't go with a for sale by owner? Do we have a picture on that over there? A graphic we're going to put up. But what are some of the reasons why, and what are we seeing there on the screen?
Basically, they're just statistical numbers showing you the percentages between for sale by owner and using an agent. When you look at doing a for sale by owner versus an agent, the days of putting a sign in the yard for sale by owner, it's done. Whenever you hire an agent, the agent gets to put it out there. Not that you can't put your house on the internet, but the agents get it out there on the internet, and usually it's shipped out to hundreds of websites. So it's there for prospective buyers, it's there for other agents, for other brokers to see. It's marketing the property. So it's agents have that capability more so than just...
Well, things, and let's just use a 20-year number here. In the last 20 years, 20 years ago, real estate, to purchase real estate was a Sunday afternoon drive for a lot of people, mm-hmm. and they went to the area. They were driving in an area visiting, and they got the real estate magazine, and they would drive around neighborhoods and see a sign in the front yard. Mm-hmm. Getting that sign out in the front yard, it's still important, but it's not as important as getting the mass media of the internet and searches. Mm-hmm. Is that how people are looking at property more and more every day?
Yes, they are. 94% of the buyers, they'll do a prelim search online. So they go to your typical Zillow or Realtor.com or Trulia, and that's kind of like their prelim search. They'll be like, hey, I want to see this. And, sometimes that helps the agents kind of know what they're wanting. It kind of helps bring in the reins of what they're wanting. But just having that sign out in the yard, I remember us going by and doing that. We'd go to find out what's for sale and who's doing what or whatever. And these days, you want to sell your house, it's got to get out there. It needs to get marketed. And
so the for sale by owner, just looking at a couple things, what does it mean when you say something like there's too many people to negotiate with if you do for sale by owner? What is something like that? What does that mean?
Well, when a buyer comes to you, you have your house for sale, buyer comes to you, they're looking for the best possible deal also. So if you're in there kind of negotiating with that buyer, an agent will come in and they will help back up the value of your home. They're going to point out the high points of your home, and this is why it's worth what it is. The agents will do a market analysis, will pull comps in the area, and all those things to kind of better equip you before you go out. And here comes these buyers coming in. Buyers have a buyer's agent, so that buyer's agent is just solely there to protect the buyer, not you as the seller. So you're going to be going up negotiating against a real estate professional, really unarmed, essentially. And then you have inspectors and appraisers coming out. That's
what I was thinking now. I don't want to sound negative if somebody out there chooses to sell their home on their own, but now there's so many inspection sheets. There's so many. You have to make sure for certain loans have to make sure there's certain inspections, or you have to go through certain things, checklists, and that seems might be a lot for somebody that just thinks, well, you know what, I'm going to stick a sign in the front yard, I'm going to say this is how much I want, and I'm going to sell my house. But to get a mortgage, to work with a lender, and to meet all the inspection sheets, that doesn't just happen.
Right.
There's a lot of work in that.
There's a lot of work in that. And, your agent is working for you. Like, we don't typically have a 9-to-5 kind of job. We work 24/7 because there's always somebody that needs something. And we're there to help you do those things.
Here's what I don't understand, and I want you to clear this up as far as this answer, because I think a lot of people might feel, or people that want to sell their own home may feel that you want to sell it yourself because you want to cut out the fees and you want to cut out the broker, and you say, why should I pay this? But you say that you net more money when you use an agent. So explain that to me.
Well, like you said, a lot of sellers think that they're going to make more money by cutting out the real estate professional, when in actuality, statistics show that you net more money using an agent. And the reason for that is, we earn our money, that few percentage in there, we earn it by marketing your property properly. And you'll have buyers come in and they'll say, well, they think that it's worth this or whatever. And again, like I was talking about, doing the market analysis and doing the comps in the area and such like that, they're going to help to back the value of your home. So the average selling price for a home is $185,000 on your own, and it's $245,000 with an agent. So it more than makes up for that few percent that you're paying the agent.
Well, I would think maybe sometimes if you sell your own home, that by the time you get done and you do everything that you have to do, I'd say there's many people that say, well, if you put together everything I just had to go through to sell this house, I kind of understand, it would have been easier or a lot less pressure if I'd had an agent handle this. And that probably happens a lot.
Yeah, it does happen a lot. We've seen a decrease in the for sale by owner simply because of all the paperwork that's involved. We have about, with the National Association of Realtors and with the GAR forms, we've got about 22 forms that we use to help protect our clients. So we give them information and the legalities that are inside of those forms. The paperwork alone is worth having an agent or professional come in to sell your house.
Well, Alicia, you have every week when you come in, we have a house that you're highlighting for the week. And Sam, do we have some pictures of a listing for Alicia that we're highlighting? What is this listing here we're looking at right now?
The address for this is 106 Simpson Hill Road in Ellijay, Georgia, and it is a fantastic house. It's 3 levels of living, really. One car garage. It comes mostly furnished, and you do have a mountain view off of the front. You have a balcony up in the upstairs bedrooms, and back behind the house, which you can't see right here, but back behind the house is this like little oasis. It's got a covered porch and grilling area. It's just a fantastic area.
And where is this located?
Ellijay, 106 Simpson Hill.
That's a beautiful listing. I was looking at it the other day. I'm guilty. I know. I do understand a lot of what you say, because on a Saturday afternoon, I will go through listings and look, and I think that's how people are shopping now. And you have to have a strong presence on multi-listing. And I could see how you would want to attempt to sell your own home, and I wish anybody well. It's America. You do what you want.
Right.
But I can also see where that search engine, if you want to move your house, if you want to move it fast and get it off the market and get it sold and move on, then you have to be able to reach that mass internet market out there. And this is a crazy question. Do they? Because I drive around. Do they still do the signs in the front yard?
Oh yeah,
they do. All right, I know.
Yeah.
I said it was a crazy question. It just seems like I don't see it as strong as I used to. You know.
Well, I don't know any agents that do not put their sign up, because
I don't say they don't, but I meant, you know.
You do have you have a small percentage of people that still drive around to find, a house, or they were driving by and they saw the sign. They didn't know the house was for sale, but they were on their way to someplace else and they saw the sign. So I think that I don't think any agent wouldn't put their sign in the front yard.
But it's not, not that they don't, but I mean, it's just not the way you first find a house all the time. As a buyer anymore. Right. Well, Alicia, I appreciate it, and I enjoyed that, and I enjoy this listing. How can people get in touch with you if they want to list their house, or get in touch with you to see property? You can show them property. How can they get in touch with you?
Well, you can always call me at 678-622-0302, and you can email me at aedwards874@yahoo.com.
You got it?
It's like a Monday for me today.
That's okay. That's okay.
All day.
There you go. You got to remember that. So you will get used to that, because I don't forget the phone number here now. I used to have blanks. Alicia, I appreciate you very much. And don't forget, if you're out there and you want to do a for sale by owner, hey, it's America. You can do what you want. But in the real estate market today, and the internet and the way it is, an agent may be the way to go for you. And if you're looking for an agent, you can possibly get in touch with Alicia. One more time, just put that up at the top there of how to get in touch with her, Alicia Edwards, and she'll be glad to show you some property and check out the listings she have. And you'd like to list their home if they want to sell it, right?
Absolutely. I want to be your realtor.
I want to be your realtor.
Yes.
Okay, we'll be back right after these messages and continue our show. The topic we had earlier this morning will continue. Take us a break, Sam.
Ace is your helpful place for paint and home goods, tools, outdoor living, and lawn equipment. But did you know Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge is a little bit more? We have hunting rifles and accessories for your next hunting trip. We have Amish furniture imported directly from Ohio. And we have Ace Custom Woodworks for all your custom wood project needs, from cabinets to artwork. Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge, we have your new house in stock.
Circuit World, brand name merchandise at unbelievably low prices. Furniture, appliances, and electronics. Circuit World is locally owned and operated, serving the tri-state area. Circuit World has highly trained professionals to help. Visit your hometown Circuit World today. 3 locations in Georgia: Ellijay, Blue Ridge, and Blairsville, Franklin, and Murphy, North Carolina. No credit checks, so let Circuit World deliver to you today.
El Rey in Ellijay.
El Rey Mexican Restaurant.
Family owned and operated, and a local favorite for families, parties, and meetings.
Great prices.
Friendly service and delicious Mexican cuisine.
Patio dining available.
Come sing in Carlos's Cantina every Friday 9 to 1.
Eat in or take away.
Same location for 14 years. Open 7 days at the corner of Maddox Drive and 515. North Georgia's favorite Mexican cuisine. El Rey in Ellijay.
What you gonna do with all that junk?
Okay, I'm your host, BKP. We are back, North Georgia's only live online morning show. Some people have put out there concerning the parking, the 3-hour parking, that there was a meeting last night saying it was fake news. So I thought instead of just telling the truth, we'd tell the what I call the damn truth. I'm sorry, but So here's the bottom line. Recapping. They have the card now. So what they're going to tell you is they're going to tell you that in let me get this foundation. It's the Roland Vaughn Foundation. The city of Blue Ridge wrote a check back for $60,000, not including what they did not receive. They still had more money coming. The Roland Vaughn Foundation. So don't forget, for 3 years they've had 3 votes, and everything that they are trying to tell you now to solve parking, they have the first reader out of the way. Okay, they have that out of the way. So they do. So what their argument is today is we're not doing, now listen close, and this is what you're going to hear from Councilwoman Arp, we're not doing the second reader until we finish with the parking and the lease, okay? So when we get the lease done on the PAC property and we get that done, we'll do the second reader, and then Blue Ridge will have a 3-hour parking limit downtown, okay? And we'll have the parking lot. Now, interesting enough, I'm going to call out a couple things because we're going to get to the citizens. You want to stay tuned. We're going to get to the citizens for the concerned citizens of Blue Ridge. All right, put up the picture that says ARP view of the highway. Okay, ARP view of the highway. Now, this is Councilwoman Arp's property. Okay, and I'm standing there on her property. Oh no, I just admitted I was on her property. Wow. Maybe I wasn't. Maybe I just zoomed in. I don't know. I'm standing there in an area and I'm taking a picture. This is Councilwoman's part. And in the background, what you see is the Borden milk distributor building there. And between where I'm at, the picture, what you see in the picture, is the property that they want to put 300 parking spaces. Now, if you owned a piece of property, would it be nice to have your property and then the city build you 300 parking spaces? Now, that will be argued, but the facts are in the picture. So the second is let's look at co-op. Go to ARP co-op. It says co-op. Okay, now this is looking down off Main Street there. This is from if you're looking at the property on the right hand side of this picture, this is the PAC property that they're going to turn into parking, okay? And you can see where it's at. It's down from the co-op. So if you go down from the co-op coming out of the city, on the left is where this parking is. All right, go to the one that says Train, ARP Train, okay? Now, this one here, what you're going to notice on Councilwoman Arp's property, okay, on one view, there's the train tracks. So, and what you see up there where the telephone poles are, that's Ada Street. So she would have a really tough time getting access over those train tracks to Ada Street. She could do it, but when you want to cross railroad tracks, that's a tough one. But she could do it. So she's kindly locked by those train tracks, okay, going to Ada Street. So then if you go to, like I had view of the highway, hold on, don't go back to that yet. Let's go to the one that says, yeah, let's go. Yeah, you got the co-op down there, right? We got that one. And go to the one that you say says right away. All right, is that the one? All right, now, this one here is a picture of the right-of-way. Because keep in mind, the other side, you have a nice shot there to Ada Street, but you got the railroad tracks. So what Miss Arp needs, Councilwoman Arp needs, is a nice right-of-way into her property. So you see that gate and you see that little road? Well, all the kudzu you see in front of that gate, that's the parking lot. That's the new parking lot for the city of Blue Ridge, the PAC property, for 300 spaces. Now, if you're a developer and you see the building back there, you see that gate, that's Councilwoman Arp's property. So this property's here 3 years ago. This property has had the ability to alleviate the parking problem for 3 years, okay? Now that there's a crisis point and people want parking, are you ready to put your head in the sand and not realize the day they sign that lease, the city signs that lease, they escalate, her property value goes up? How would you like to they keep talking about the train, and they keep talking about providing parking for the Blue Ridge Scenic Railroad. How would you like to have a 300 space parking lot with a little park attached to it, picnic area, and a 300 space parking lot that is walking distance? Do you realize from Angie Arp's property, think of what she can do now if you bring her 300 customers to her door, okay? What could she do with that property? That'd be nice. What if the walk to whatever she builds on that property, once they open that parking lot, will be a shorter walk from you getting out of your car, or as equal to at Walmart and walking in the front door? So I'm going to say it like this. These are my words. I don't see where the city should spend thousands of dollars, number one, $25,000, let's just say $25,000 to clear a piece of property, put in the area of 300 parking spaces, okay? Put a right-of-way. Once you open the right-of-way to Miss Arp's property, you can't close it. Oh, no. This is right to the road. She will have awesome access. It'll be commercial access to her property. So once you do that, she can take where that building is, she could doze that property down, she could pop up motel. Now, I'm not saying she will. She could pop up restaurants, she could pop up shops, and guess what? She will have command of 300 parking spaces. 300. So here's what my opinion is happening. You have parking ordinance 1 for 3 hours has already went through the first reader. She holds the card. She knows the train has to have a plan B. They have to, okay? So either the train can help put this in place for the city, or everybody can get on board and say, oh, let's do this for the good of the city, and let's take this property and turn 300 parking spaces in. And the very minute you don't play games or you don't come to the table with Miss Arp, that second reading can hit an agenda, and you have badly confused if you think they care. So they hold the second reading card. End of discussion. The second reading card on the parking is there. End of discussion. Miss Arp's property. I do not understand. If you're out there this morning and you're not outraged, and you stick your head in the sand and just say, oh, 300 parking spaces, it's great for downtown, it's great for this, it's great for that. Well, guess what? For 3 years, they could have turned that into parking. For 3 years with 3 votes. Seriously, folks, I, for one, do not believe, if you'll go and look at when Miss Arp bought this property, if you'll go and look and see, I'm just going to say, why don't you do the research and get back to me and see if she bought this property after she became a city council member. See if she did. Just see if she bought the property after she became a city council member. See if she's owned it for a couple years, 2 years, 3 years. See if she was in office when she purchased this property. And then what are you getting ready to do? You're getting ready to invest $25,000 of your money to clear this lot, to create 300 parking spaces to benefit her? Really? Really? Is that what we've come to? That you're going to spend more of the citizens' tax money to come up with 300 parking spaces to enhance her property? I'm going to take a break because what I want to do is I'm going to end on that $25,000 right there to clear this property out, to build 300 parking spaces, to increase the value of a council member's property that's joining it. And I want to take a break because I want to come back because I want to talk about the concerned citizens of Blue Ridge and the Fannin cartel. So Sam, take us a break, and when we come back, we're going to move into concerned citizens of Blue Ridge. We might bring Johnny Searcy's name up. We might. Chief of Police, stay with us. Take us a break, Sam.
Ace is your healthful place for paint and home goods, tools, outdoor living, and lawn equipment. But did you know Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge is a little bit more? We have hunting rifles and accessories for your next hunting trip. We have Amish furniture imported directly from Ohio. And we have Ace Custom Woodworks for all your custom wood project needs, from cabinets to artwork. Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge. We have your new house in stock.
Circuit World, brand name merchandise at unbelievably low prices. Furniture, appliances, and electronics. Circuit World is locally owned and operated, serving the tri-state area. Circuit World has highly trained professionals to help. Visit your hometown Circuit World today. 3 locations in Georgia: Ellijay, Blue Ridge, and Blairsville, Franklin, and Murphy, North Carolina. No credit checks, so let Circuit World deliver to you today.
El Rey and Ellijay.
El Rey Mexican Restaurant.
Family owned and operated, and a local favorite for families, parties, and meetings.
Great prices.
Friendly service and delicious Mexican cuisine.
Patio dining available.
Come sing in Carlos's Cantina every Friday 9 to 1.
Eat in or take away.
Same location for 14 years. Open 7 days at the corner of Maddox Drive and 515. North Georgia's favorite Mexican cuisine. El Rey and Ellijay.
What you gonna do with all that junk?
All right, folks, we're back. Blue Ridge City Council. Let me say this before we move on. Last night, and I didn't fail to mention this, but last night, 3 of the council members, a regular called meeting, 3 of the council members did not attend. 4, Herold Herndon, Angie Arp, Rodney Kendall, and Bruce Pack. They did not attend. A couple questions that the citizens should ask is, did they meet somewhere else by themselves? Did they break the Sunshine Law? How did they just not show up for a meeting? Who set that up? Was there collusion within a group to decide? Now, all the argument you ever hear of, yes, there's 3 votes and there's collusion, and that's why the 3 chairs. Is there collusion in that council to dictate a certain way? Why did they not face the citizens last night at the council meeting? Why not? 100 and some citizens there to say they do not agree with 3-hour parking. All right. Why didn't they just show up and say, hey, don't get upset. We're going to solve the parking issue before we do that. We promise that. Why didn't they just show up and promise, hey, we're not going to have the second reading. You have our word until we solve the parking issue. Actually, they didn't show up and say that, but that's the cards they're playing is, hey, you know what? We're going to do the second reading when we want, when we get everything we want. So, who canceled that meeting? That was a regular meeting. Who canceled it? Why did they cancel the meeting and not show up? Folks, $25,000. Now, for you and I, $43,000, I think it's $43,000 is a lot of money. Okay? I think for any resident in the city of Blue Ridge, every resident should know that $43,000 was spent on an investigation. Well, if the citizens, because the charter says, if the citizens ask for an investigation concerning a member of the council or the mayor, they're supposed to follow through and listen to their complaint, and it could call for the council to have an investigation or to launch an investigation. So what do? You get, and this is the quote the guy made to me, okay, because I did a 2-hour interview, and I'm going to invite the guy on the show if he wants to come down, because I told the individual when I interviewed him that he needed to let me know when there was something I couldn't talk about, that he realized that I would go talk about this, and it was understood. It was understood. I think to the point that this individual has spoke to Rhonda Thomas, and I think from Councilwoman Thomas, I'm going to throw it out there. I mean, what the hell, right? What the hell? I'll throw it out here. Councilwoman Thomas, my understanding is this individual has actually been over to the district attorney and has told everything he knows at the district attorney's office. So I understand the district attorney is aware of this story. Or someone in the district attorney's office. You got to be careful. There's 3 offices, and there's assistant district attorneys and investigators and so forth. But the district attorney's office is aware of this story. This individual has been there. That's my understanding from Councilwoman Rhonda Thomas. Councilwoman Thomas has interviewed this individual. My understanding, Mayor Donna Whitener has interviewed this individual. And I alone spent 2 hours alone with this individual and did an interview. The individual is Patrick Crain, okay? Patrick Crain is a citizen of Blue Ridge, longtime citizen of Blue Ridge, all right? Just a guy building dragsters, working on cars. I met with the guy for 2 hours, pretty good guy. I just walked away thinking, this guy is an okay guy. Now, here's the quote he made to me, and I'm not diminishing this gentleman. I really ended the interview really, I like this guy. I ended really liking this guy, okay? Genuine, truthful, honest. And I asked him in the beginning of the interview, Patrick Crain, why are you doing this? Why are you saying what you're saying today? He said, I don't like being made a fool out of. I don't like being made a fool out of. Now, I've got some notes here that I'm going to bring up, because I'm not going to do this entire segment this morning, but I want to set things up. Now, Patrick Crain, what you're going to see Monday, and let me say it's going to be Monday so you know. What you're going to see Monday is because, today I've got to go to a town hall in Gainesville. Tomorrow, I have Congressman Doug Collins will be right here in the studio with me. So for 30 minutes tomorrow from 8 to 8:30 to 9, Congressman Collins will be right here. We'll be doing an interview with him. Okay, that's 8:30 to 9. And then Friday, we're in Blue Ridge at Sycamore Crossing. And I want to do this story to the point because I'm very concerned. I think there needs to be an investigation now, okay? And I'm very concerned on what I have heard that I want to do it right, because I'm going to play Monday for you the video of Patrick Crain going to the podium. I'm going to play the second video of Patrick Crain going to the podium, the second one, and I'm going to play the video Monday of Councilwoman Angie Arp reading her reasons why there needed to be an investigation, okay? So, now picture this. Councilwoman Arp is sitting here, the podium's over here, okay? Patrick Crain walks up to the podium and says he is representing, not quote, we have the video, the concerned citizens of Blue Ridge, all right? Concerned citizens of Blue Ridge. And he reads his reason that he feels there needs to be, the city council needs to do an investigation on Mayor Donna Whitener. He reads that. Now, Councilwoman Angie Arp sits there looking unsuspecting, that she's not expecting to hear what Patrick Crain is reading. She's hearing it for the first time. She is listening attentively to the citizens. Why we must listen to Patrick Crain? Because he has a group called Concerned Citizens of Blue Ridge. And Patrick Crain has this group, and they actually have been publishing articles in the now defunct Fan and Focus at that time, you know. Oh, by the way, hashtag Fan and Cartel, right? Remember the Fan and Cartel? So they're publishing articles in the Fan and Focus newspaper, okay? And Patrick Crain is writing these articles, and there's a whole list of concerned citizens of Blue Ridge. And I must, Angie, Councilwoman Arp is probably sitting there thinking, I must listen and hang on to every word so I can do right by the citizens of Blue Ridge, because if they're coming to us with this concern, I'm supposed to follow the charter, and I'm supposed to do what's right. So I better listen. Patrick Crain comes up to the podium, and he asked, as a concerned citizen of Blue Ridge, he asked Mayor Donna White, he asked for an investigation, and he says he has several complaints, and Mayor Whitener asked, Patrick, what are they? Well, I don't have them with me. Well, can you list them? Well, he said something to the nature, I'll have your list back by this afternoon. And I'm wondering if he thought, these are my words, I'm wondering if he thought, well, you know, where am I going to get this list? So supposedly he has a list. And then when he goes to the podium and the mayor says, where is your list of reasons to launch this investigation, which could be costly? Okay? Where is your list? Patrick says, I'll have to get back to you. Now, keep in mind, this is not a negative Patrick Crain story, because I ended up walking away really liking the guy. And when the guy hears this, I just had to look at the camera and say, Patrick, I think you're an okay guy. And I understand what happened here because I know the cartel, okay? So, Patrick comes back a second time. The next meeting, he's got his little binder there, and he says, hey, I'm with Concerned Citizens of Blue Ridge, and they keep printing stuff in this Fan and Focus, and they're going around saying, we've got a whole group of concerned citizens of Blue Ridge that feel that the mayor needs to be investigated. So he comes back the second time, and he says that the mayor needs to be investigated. Okay. Then I have the video where I think it might be the next meeting. I don't know if it's the same meeting. But Councilwoman Arp puts on the agenda council investigation for the mayor or something like that. It's on the agenda. So she reads, and she goes into, we have to take our citizens serious. And I'm making a motion. I make a motion we investigate the mayor based on, now listen what it's based on, the Concerned Citizens of Blue Ridge, which is Patrick Crain, okay? So she makes a motion that we need to launch this investigation. And so in that discussion, it's in the video, either the mayor or Ron DeTono said, why don't we just investigate everybody? And Angie Arp says, okay, I'll amend my motion. I think we should pass something to investigate everybody. Okay, so all right. $43,000. Well, I think we should use Gerard and Davis. Okay, so we use Gerard and Davis. I think $43,000. Let's stop there for a minute. Folks, how many of you in the city of Blue Ridge voters, because actually this year you matter. Remember, Blue Ridge voters matter year 4. Year 4 is your year. If you are a voter in Blue Ridge, if you're a citizen, if you're a resident, man, your year is the 4th year. They're knocking on your door. I'm running for city council. I'd like your vote. Okay? Year 4. So, they think about this, residents. $43,000. Now, I can drive the streets of Blue Ridge and I can find you some neighborhoods. I can actually find you some family members in the city limits that $43,000 would be a major impact to their household this year. $43,000 would buy a lot of senior citizens propane for the winter. $43,000 would just go ahead and exempt senior citizens in the city of Blue Ridge of having to pay for water and trash for how long? $43,000 could paint the damn bathrooms and remodel them in downtown Blue Ridge for the visitors. $43,000 could do that. $43,000 could clear the property that they want to pull a fast one and turn into parking. That would benefit Councilwoman Angie Arp. $43,000 would do that. What would $43,000 do? I would like to ask you out there to make me a list of everything you could do in the city of Blue Ridge for $43,000 to enhance, help the citizens. $43,000 could build the biggest, brightest, most beautiful brand new barbecue pit for the Good Samaritans of Blue Ridge or Fannin County, whatever. $43,000, period. Let's stop there. $43,000. So we had to have, I want to know. I really do. I want to know. I want a list from you. What the hell could you have done for the citizens of Blue Ridge that could have changed things for $43,000? Maybe a parking study, damn it, for $43,000. Maybe a whole study on the infrastructure for $40,000. Maybe I'm crazy. Well, hell, there's a shot, right? But for $43,000, maybe you could have done some studies. For $43,000, maybe you could have hired a grant writer. Oh, there's a novel thought, right? What the hell could you have done for $43,000? But oh my God, we've got the concerned citizens of Blue Ridge. We got to stop. Put the brakes on. To hell with the flooding. To hell with the bathrooms. To hell with everything. It's important. We must investigate this mayor. Now, so here's what happens. Let me roll some names out just to get your interest. You ever heard of Steve Setzer? You know, the guy that's got the sweetheart deal at the drive-in. Oh, God, what a deal is that, right? So, Steve Setzer is up there at the Swan Drive-In, sweetheart deal. You know, I don't know what I'm saying here, but I think I'll say it. But I have no idea how dangerous this statement is. But I think I'll say it. I'm just not that damn bright, because I think I'll say it. If you look at some of these cast of characters, you ever realize they have their pulse on some cash businesses? I'm just saying. I just say it. I'm not implying a damn thing. But you ever notice the pulse? Some of the things. There's a cash business that surrounds it. I don't know, that just came to mind. Anyhow, so I took some notes. So I find out that the concerned citizens of Blue Ridge actually, now I asked twice, let me get this, let me see if I can get the paper. Is it that one? Okay. Oh, here's the one. It's this one. I hear the concerned citizen of Blue Ridge is combined and is made up by Steve Setzer, the Swan Drive-In. Steve Setzer. Maybe, is this called the best for last? Mark Tomlinson, former owner of the Fan and Focus. Councilwoman Angie Arp. And last but not least, of the actual group that was in charge, this came from Patrick Crain to me. These are the people that were at the meetings. These are the people that gave him direction. These are the people that set the direction of what to do. Okay? The last one, Police Chief Johnny Searcy. Police Chief Johnny Searcy. Now, my understanding is a comment was made from Police Chief Johnny Searcy. We've got to get the mayor out of office because she doesn't like me, and if she gets her chance, she's going to get rid of me. There's a thought. Used Mark Tomlinson's newspaper to print the propaganda to Fan and Focus. The mayor Mark Tomlinson wanted her out also. Steve Setzer went after the mayor personally. It's a disgrace what that man did. Disgrace. A woman should never be treated. Now, she is the mayor of Blue Ridge. Okay? And by being the mayor of Blue Ridge, she is open to attack for her agendas, her policy, her procedure, maybe her decisions as the mayor. But a woman should never be personally attacked as nasty as Steve Setzer treated the mayor of Blue Ridge. Should never happen. And here he's sitting up there. So see, Steve Setzer wants her out. These are my words. My God, they're my freaking words, okay? Steve Setzer wants her out, the owner of the Swan Drive-In. Why? Because they said, hey, you got a sweetheart deal up here, and at $500, and it's the city's property. You got to remember, the Swan Drive-In sits on the city's property, and I'm gonna say $500. All right, so the Steve Setzer doesn't like her. Johnny Searcy, Mark Tomlinson, and Councilwoman Angie Arp. So those are the members of the concerned citizens of Blue Ridge. Now, Councilwoman Angie Arp, let me get to this because I got notes, and we're going to do video and everything Monday. We're not letting this go. Because I think for one, let me ask you a question. Maybe I shouldn't put that out there. I don't want them to know where I'm going with this. I'm going to go with this Monday, but I don't want them, the Fan and Cartel, to know where I'm going with this. Because I'm going with it. Okay? If you think you're just going to do this, it cost the citizens $43,000. Okay? And just there's no repercussions. I mean, you can talk all day long about the damn Ada Street LLC. I have about had it with your garbage of the last 4 years of if you like, who you don't like, who you want to get rid of. What the hell's that got to do with the senior citizens that have to pay for the garbage and the water and all your shenanigans? Let's throw shenanigans in there because I about had it with your crap. I mean, these citizens, the hard-working people that pay your damn taxes, okay, that pay your health insurance because I don't know, I'm not opposed to it, but I think city council members get health insurance. So you got the damn taxpayers paying for your damn health insurance while your ass is just doing anything you want because you don't like somebody. Oh, what the hell? Just because you don't like somebody. Holy mackerel. Don't get me confused with somebody who cares. I don't care. You understand? Because I've already been told, bring up Steve Setzer's name. You think he hasn't attacked me? They've attacked the hell out of me. Bring up Johnny's name. You think Johnny likes me? Let me look into the the camera. Johnny, everybody knows you don't like me, damn it. I know that. Because you know what I want? I want the evidence room investigated. You don't like that, do you, Johnny? I like the evidence room investigated. Guess what? I would like the ticket books looked at a little, look at the last audit on the ticket books. Oh, absolutely, Johnny. You know it, I know it, and the damn citizens of Blue Ridge know it. So I don't care. Angie Arp, I know you don't like me. I could care less. Let me see who. Oh, Mark. Well, I thought you liked me, Mark. Anyhow. So, I only got 8 minutes. So let me tell you where I'm going with this. Because this is the kicker. You're like, what? Well, what the hell? You haven't proved anything. Let me tell you what I know for a fact. Well, I know because I was told by Patrick Crain, as clear as I'm looking into this. Every time you picked up the Fan and Focus and there was an article that said, Concerned Citizens of Blue Ridge, and it said Patrick Crain, he never wrote it. Councilwoman Arp wrote it. That was his words. Councilwoman Arp wrote every article that had his name on it. He told me that. She would write the article for him, and it would go in the paper. That's what he said. Okay. Councilwoman Arp was sabotaging her own citizens, sabotaging her own council, and manipulating, collusion, all the above, to try to make a power move. Okay? Oh yeah, she's real concerned about your parking today. She's real concerned about you citizens. She's real concerned about anything that is not self-serving to her. Oh yes, she's not out for herself today because we have all the reasons why. So what did she do? She wrote it all. Guess what she did also? You remember those statements that Patrick Crain came to the podium and made as the Concerned Citizens of Blue Ridge? She wrote them. So just picture this in your mind. As Councilwoman Angie Arp was sitting over there, looking like she had heard this for the first time, shocked that she needed to do something to protect the citizens, not 3 foot away, folks, Patrick Crain was reading the words that Councilwoman Arp read for him, wrote. Councilwoman Arp, he was reading the words that Councilwoman Arp wrote for him. That's what he was doing. He was reading her statements. And she was concerned because Patrick Crain should be listened to. Everything that was written, she wrote. Everything that was done, she was a leader on it. That came from Patrick Crain. I've got 6 minutes, and I'm gonna end this and I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna have a final thought. But Steve Setzer, Johnny Searcy, Mark Tomlinson, Angie Arp. Okay? There were some cheerleaders, so I'm not going to mention the cheerleaders' names because I said some other names, and I said, were they part of this, I'm going to call it collusion? He said, no, they were cheerleaders from the outside. I know the attorney that filed the paperwork. I know that Patrick Crain never spent $1. They wrote the check. He said the checks were sent straight to the attorney by someone else to file for this. Okay? Let me see here. Statements were written by Angie. I know there's still copies of all the statements in her handwriting out there. I'm going to leave you this. And this is the reason why you need to pay attention to this. As I know sometimes I come across arrogant. I understand that. But then again, some of you out there continuing to get me confused with somebody else, like the person that cares. I'm sorry, I don't mean it that way, but maybe I do. Anyhow, with the 5 minutes, here's the kicker for me, and I'm going to leave you with this, and this is going to be worth you waiting on. The investigation, Gerard and Davis went and they talked to the chief of police. Now remember, this is great. Hold on, you're going to really like this one, okay? Now Patrick Crain is the guy that files the paperwork, but he doesn't. And he is the listed registered agent for the concerned citizens of Blue Ridge. And he is the one that goes to the podium. Nobody else goes to the podium. And he is the reason that Councilwoman Arp feels we have no other choice. No other choice but to investigate. Now remember all that. This is the guy that made it happen. So Gerard and Davis get $43,000. They interview the mayor, they interview the council members, they interview Angie Arp, they interview the city police, they go over and do a little research on the city police, they interview the parking, and they interview all the departments. They do really an extensive interview, and don't think $43,000 ended it. The city council could have went to the next level, and this thing could have costed hundreds of thousands, okay? But in the entire interview process, and $43,000 spent, guess who they never interviewed? Guess who they never talked to? You got it. Patrick Crain, the guy that brought all this to light. The concerned citizen of Blue Ridge that said we must immediately investigate. They seem to bypass him at Gerard and Davis. Not one word to him. Not one phone call, interview, or anything to him. Never asked him a question. And I kind of think between you and I, that might be one of the reasons he started thinking, whoa, they never asked me a question. I thought I was the one that brought all this up. Huh. There you go. Well, you have 2 minutes, so I'll have time to break for my final thought. But don't forget, 3:30 today. Let's put that up, Sam. You could follow us on Twitter. Get on your Twitter account at FetcherNews.com. Rose is keeping up with this all through the show. Now we'll keep up with the show. Follow us on Twitter at FetcherNews. At FYNTV. Also, you can text us 706-889-9700. Tell me what you thought about today's show. You might not like it. Tell me. Okay. Chief at FetchYourNews.com. You can check that out. Chief at FetchYourNews.com. And also, if you will go to our YouTube channel, FYNTV, Fetch Your News, subscribe to it. You'll get a notification when we're live. Today there will be a town hall meeting in Gainesville for Congressman, 9th Congressional District Congressman Doug Collins, and I will do that meeting live. It's 5:30 today. We'll put it out there. That will be live. We'll broadcast that. Also tomorrow, a special segment for 30 minutes. The congressman will be right here. Now I've asked you the question. You can get back to us by text, email chief@fetchernews.com. You can put it on our Facebook page. I can't promise because I have 30 minutes, but if you have a question for Congressman Doug Collins, if you have a question for him, please send that to me and get it to me, and we'll see if I can incorporate that into tomorrow's interview at some time, or at least get one or two of your questions out there. It's 9:59. I don't know what all I have to do now. The new set, let me tell you a little bit about this before we walk away. It is 10 o'clock, but we got the big table out because now the lighting's better, and we're going to be using the room. I had this massive table, and the reason you couldn't see the table some days, it was like a mirror of lights. And to get our lighting correct in here, and also we're going to have different sets, so we can move this table and put different sets for different shows. We're going to be broadcasting different shows here real soon and be able to do interviews in a different way. So I'm your host, BKP. I'll be back tomorrow morning at 8. That's all I know. I hope I get back here by 8 by tomorrow morning. Chances are. Take us out of here, Sam.